Hi friends, today we're doing Unit 6, Lesson 9, Loki's Punishment. We're going to start by going over the key vocabulary words you'll be hearing in today's reading. Our first word is patience, the ability to put up with problems without getting upset. Our next word is vow, to make an important and serious promise. Our next word is serpent, which is a snake. Our next word is writhe, to twist and turn in pain. Our next word is prophecy, a prediction of what will happen in the future. Our next word is triumph, which means a victory. And our last word is fate, the things that will happen to a person, destiny, or fortune. We are now going to move into today's reading. Chapter 8, Loki's Punishment. In time, the gods found out what Loki had done. They learned that it was Loki who had visited Frigga in disguise and found out about the mistletoe. It was Loki who had made the arrow and convinced blind Hod to shoot it at Balder. It was Loki disguised as an old woman who had refused to weep for Balder and kept him from returning to the land of the living. Loki had been in trouble many times before. He had done all sorts of bad things, but he had never done anything quite so evil. The gods had lost all patience with him. Even Odin, who had defended Loki so many times in the past, refused to speak for him. The gods vowed to hunt him down and punish him. Loki disguised himself as a salmon. He swam in the rivers. The gods tried to catch him, but Loki leapt out of their nets and escaped. At last, Thor caught him. He grabbed him in midair. Loki struggled, but Thor held him tight with his powerful hands. The gods took Loki, who was no longer disguised as a salmon, to a cavern deep underground. They chained him to the rocks. They took a serpent whose mouth dripped with poison and fastened it to the roof. Drops of poison fell out of the serpent's mouth and landed on Loki. Loki was in terrible pain. The poison dripped all night and all day, and each drop stung like a knife wound. Loki the giant, who had lived in Asgard with the gods, writhed in agony on the floor of the cave. Loki went on suffering until his wife Siguna heard about his troubles. Loki had treated Siguna badly, but she still loved him. She left Asgard and went to live with Loki in the cavern. She stood next to her husband with a cup in her hand. She caught the drops of poison in the cup to keep them from falling on Loki. Loki still suffered, especially when Siguna had to empty the cup, but his suffering was much reduced. As Loki lay in the cavern, Siguna whispered to him and soothed him. She reminded him of prophecies they both knew, prophecies about Ragnarok and the fall of the gods. "For the moment we are beaten," she said. "The gods in Asgard rejoice at their triumph over you, but they know that the day is coming. They have heard the prophecies. They know as well as you and I that the final battle, the battle of Ragnarok, is coming." Siguna paused to toss a cup of poison away. Loki writhed in pain as 2 drops of poison fell on him. Siguna soothed him and began again. "When Ragnarok comes, Yggdrasil, the tree that holds up the world, will tremble. The giants will rise and fight against the gods. A great eagle with a white beak will shriek in the sky. Your son, Fenrir, the wolf, whom they keep chained in a cavern like this one, will break his chains and attack the gods themselves. He will swallow up Odin himself. Meanwhile, Jormungand, the mighty serpent, whose body encircles the earth, will battle with Thor, and Thor will not escape his fate. None of the gods will escape. All of them will die. The sun will turn black. Earth will sink into the sea. The stars will vanish. The world will be destroyed." You may now move on to Unit 6, Lesson 9, Google Form.